Very good morning, students. Regarding biozoology, today we are going to discuss chapter 3, reproductive health. In that we are going to see about birth control. What is birth control? The voluntary use of contraceptive procedures to prevent fertilization or prevent implantation of a fertilized egg in the uterus is termed as birth control. There are two different types of contraceptive method, temporary and permanent. So what are the types of contraceptive methods? Temporary birth control method and permanent birth control methods. Temporary birth control methods include natural and barrier method. So natural method, chemical, mechanical and hormonal barrier methods. So these are all the temporary birth control methods. So temporary birth control methods already discussed in the previous session. Today we are going to discuss permanent birth control methods in detail. So what is permanent birth control method? Permanent birth control method are adopted by the individuals who do not want to have any more children. There are three forms of permanent birth control method. Female sterilization via a tubal ligation, also known as tying tubes. Transcervical sterilization. Next, male sterilization or vasectomy. So these are all the three forms of permanent birth control. The most common form of permanent birth control for women is called tubal ligation or having the tubes tied. This is a safe and highly effective option for women who wish to prevent pregnancy permanently. Surgical sterilization methods are the permanent contraception method advised for male and female partners to prevent any more pregnancies. It blocks the transport of the gametes and prevents conception. The surgical sterilization method includes tubectomy in women, vasectomy in men. Tubectomy and vasectomy are the surgical sterilization methods. What is tubectomy? Tubectomy, it is the surgical sterilization in women. Tubectomy, also known as tubal sterilization. It is a permanent method of contraception in women. In this procedure, small portion of both fallopian tubes are cut and tied up through a small incision in the abdomen or through vagina. This prevents fertilization as well as the entry of the egg into the uterus. So just see the picture. Small portion of both fallopian tubes are cut and tied through a small incision in the abdomen. So this prevents fertilization as well as the entry of the egg into the uterus. It is also called as tubal ligation. This surgical procedure is carried out to ensure that the fallopian tubes in the body are blocked, clamped, sealed, or severed. The main aim of this surgery is to prevent the sperm from reaching the egg to fertilize it. Tubectomy is a surgical process that blocks the fallopian tube, thereby preventing the egg released by the ovary from reaching the uterus. So see the picture before surgery and after surgery. So small portion of both fallopian tube are cut and tied up through a small incision in the abdomen. So this is tubectomy, a surgical sterilization method in women. So next method is vasectomy, another surgical sterilization method in men. Vasectomy, it is a minor surgery to block sperm from reaching the semen that is ejaculated from the penis. Semen still exists, but it has no sperm in it. After a vasectomy, the testes still make sperm, but they are soaked up by the body. So vasectomy blocks or cuts each vas deferens, keeping sperm out of the semen. Sperm cells stay in the testicles and are absorbed by the body. So in this procedure, both vas deferens are cut and tied through a small incision on the scrotum to prevent the entry of sperm into the urethra. Vasectomy prevents sperm from heading off to penis as the discharge has no sperms in it. So just see the picture. Both vas deferens are cut and tied through a small incision on the scrotum. Sometimes after a vasectomy, a man should have negative or non-motile sperm in their semen sample. In rare cases, the vas deferens that were cut can grow back together over time. As a result, a man can experience a delayed vasectomy failure and have viable sperms in his semen sample again. So what are the advantages and disadvantages of vasectomy and tubectomy? So advantages and disadvantages of tubectomy. The possible complications of tubal ligation are infection, bruising or bleeding at the operation site, pelvic pain or pain in the abdomen, rarely damage of organs. So this is the disadvantage of tubectomy. Now advantages and disadvantages of vasectomy. A vasectomy is more than 99% effective at preventing pregnancy. Long-term effects on the health are rare. It does not affect the hormone level, sex drive, It may be chosen as a simpler and safer alternative to female sterilization. So these are all the advantages and disadvantages of vasectomy and tubectomy. So this is about permanent birth control methods. So surgical sterilization methods include vasectomy and tubectomy are the permanent birth control method. Next, let me pass on medical termination of pregnancy. Pregnancy terminated by using medical method. Medical method of abortion is a voluntary or intentional termination of pregnancy in a non-surgical or non-invasive way. So medical abortion is a procedure that uses medication to end a pregnancy. A medical abortion doesn't require surgery or anesthesia. So see the picture, medical termination of pregnancy. Medical termination of pregnancy is legally permitted till 20 week on the following condition. First condition, risk to mother's life. Next, grave injury to physical or mental health. Next condition, substantial risk of physical and mental abnormalities in the fetus. Next condition, pregnancy resulting from rape. Next, contraception failure. So for these conditions, medical termination of pregnancy is legally permitted till 20th week. Early medical termination is extremely safe up to 12 weeks of the first trimester of pregnancy and generally has no impact on a woman's fertility. Abortion during the second trimester is more risky as the fetus become intimately associated with the maternal tissue. Government of India legalized MTP Act in 1971. Medical Termination of Pregnancy Act. That is only known as MTP Act. MTP Act, Medical Termination of Pregnancy Act. An act to provide for the termination of certain pregnancies by registered medical practitioners. So, MTP Act indications: risk to the life or grave injury to the physical or mental health of women, substantial risk of physical or mental abnormalities in the fetus, pregnancy caused by rape, contraceptive failure in married couple. So MTP Act 1971 legalized for medical necessity and social consequences with certain restrictions like sex discrimination and illegal female feticides. To avoid its misuse, MTP performed illegally by unqualified quacks is unsafe and could be fatal. It leads to death. MTP of the first conception may have serious psychological consequences. So, pregnancy terminated by using medical method. It is only known as medical termination of pregnancy. That's all about medical termination of pregnancy and permanent birth control method. With this we finish today's class. Thank you.